For nearly 50 years following Carl Jung's death in 1961, his family kept a massive, red leather-bound book locked inside a Swiss bank vault. The Jung family refused to publish it. They feared the contents were so disturbing that they would convince the world the founding father of analytical psychology had suffered a total mental collapse. In 2009, the vault was finally opened, revealing a 15 by 11-inch leather folio containing 205 pages of dense calligraphy and elaborate paintings. This manuscript, titled Liber Novus, contains the unfiltered data of a terrifying psychological experiment, a self-induced confrontation with the unconscious mind. In 1912, Jung was a respected psychiatrist, widely considered the crown prince of the psychoanalytic movement and Sigmund Freud's hand-picked intellectual heir. But Jung published a work called Symbols of Transformation, which argued that human drive is more than just sexual. This direct contradiction of Freud's core theories instantly severed their relationship. The professional break triggered a severe psychological crisis. Jung began suffering from a string of devastating waking fantasies, seeing visions of the entire European landscape flooding with a tide of blood. Using his own clinical training, Jung observed these symptoms and drew a chilling conclusion. He was succumbing to schizophrenia. Then came August 1914. World War I began, and literal rivers of blood began to flow across the continent. Jung realized his hallucinations were a prophetic mirroring of actual global carnage. This realization convinced Jung that the unconscious mind contained vast autonomous power that demanded exploration rather than suppression. Instead of fleeing his fracturing psyche, Jung chose to deliberately drop into it. He developed a technique called active imagination. This involved inducing waking hallucinations, where Jung would deliberately interact with unconscious images while maintaining conscious ego awareness. This was distinct from passive dreaming. It required a grueling effort to stay awake and force an active dialogue with the chaotic imagery welling up from his mind. Every night, he would descend into these visions, then meticulously record the unhinged encounters in a series of small black notebooks. This method bypassed his rational intellect, opening a direct pipeline to the raw, untamed material of the human psyche. Deep within these visions, Jung discovered that the figures he encountered acted entirely independent of his own will or intellect. His primary guide was a figure named Philemon, an old man who appeared with bull horns and the wings of a kingfisher. Philemon regularly demonstrated wisdom that exceeded Jung's own conscious knowledge. Through Philemon, Jung came to understand that the human mind contains autonomous forces. We do not invent these ideas. They produce themselves and have their own life. Jung also engaged with a figure representing his soul. In his later theories, he called this the anima, the feminine aspect of the male psyche. She criticized his rigid, scientific worldview, demanding he embrace symbolism and the irrational. He then confronted the shadow, the dark, rejected aspects of his personality. Jung realized he had to stop hiding from his most murderous and sensual impulses, and instead learn to acknowledge them as necessary parts of his nature. These encounters led Jung to conclude that psychological health requires the integration of these suppressed aspects into the conscious self. Navigating these vivid hallucinations for 16 years brought Jung close to a total collapse. He prevented himself from losing his grip on reality by treating the physical crafting of a book as a stabilizing anchor. He transcribed the entries of his black notebooks into the large leather folio, adopting the calligraphy and aesthetic style of a medieval illuminated manuscript. Alongside the writing, he maintained a daily morning practice of drawing mandalas, circular designs used to map his specific psychic state during the chaos. Jung saw these mandalas as an archetypal blueprint. They demonstrated that when the conscious mind stops interfering, the psyche spontaneously moves toward a state of balanced wholeness. The physical labor of painting and writing the Red Book functioned as the literal mechanism for his own psychological survival and integration. Around 1930, Jung stopped adding to the manuscript. He emerged from the experiment with a new psychological framework, leaving the book unfinished. The encounters logged within this secret journal became the source for nearly every major concept Jung is famous for today. These include the collective unconscious, the idea of a shared human mythology, the archetypes, universal symbolic patterns, the shadow, and individuation, the process of integrating conscious and unconscious aspects of the self. In Awe, his lifetime of academic writing was the clinical translation of the wild, raw, and terrifying visions he documented in the Red Book. Jung distinguished between two modes of consciousness. The first is the spirit of this time, which represents the rational, scientific, and goal-oriented thinking of modern society. Beneath that lies the spirit of the depths. This is our ancient, mythological soul that connects us to foundational human experiences. Jung's journey suggests that in an era of technological distraction, true meaning is found not by conquering the inner world, but by listening to it. The manuscript implies that what we label as a breakdown or madness might actually be the chaotic start of an internal reconfiguration. Resolute, inspiring. Jung's work suggests that wholeness requires the courage to face the terrifying, irrational depths of our own nature.